Everybody, welcome in. It's Julie Max. I'm the main stamper, and I am a few minutes late. It is just after 7 o'clock here on the East Coast, and this is my new time to do my weekly card class from Maine. Tonight, I could have used an extra hour. Now, normally my classes have been 8 o'clock at night on a Monday, and until last week, it was 8 o'clock. So it is 7 o'clock, my new class time, and I am tardy for class today. Speaking of class, I hope you guys enjoyed my Stamper School that I released on Saturday. Check it out if you've missed it. So I'm going to go back to some of the basics. I'm going to do an under 10-minute video every Saturday for you to check out with just some really simple ways that you can use your Stampin' Up! Products. Or if you're brand new to Stampin' Up!, maybe it's an introduction for you. So Stamper School is a new thing, and those videos will be dropping on Saturday. And thank you so much for the love on my very first Stamper School video. I think you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad that you did. So make sure you're saying hi as you jump on and finding me. Again, 7 o'clock is my new time. I am a few minutes late, but we are working on a bundle this week, just like we normally do on a Monday, and we're doing the Adoring Hearts bundle. And the Adoring Hearts bundle, hi Lexi, she's the winner tonight. She's the first one to say hi to me. The Adoring Hearts bundle is adorable. Hi Jess, so glad you could make it too. It's 7 o'clock. And I heard from last week that you guys liked the 7 o'clock time, so this is awesome. All right, so now that we're rocking and rolling here, we're gonna get over to my workspace. We're gonna talk about the bundle, the card kits, the offers, all of the good things. Let me transition you over and just continue please to say hi as you jump on and find me. Now I'm working on my new glass mat. This is a great offer from Stampin' Up! For during Sale-A-Bration. Sale-A-Bration is occurring, right? If you flip to the back where you do the join on pages 16 and 17, you're going to see this glass mat, and I've been trying it out on my workspace. There are a lot of things that I like about it, and then there's a couple things that I don't like about it. So we'll probably be dropping some secrets as I go today. For the most part, I really do like it. So I am playing with the Adoring Hearts bundle. Now the Adoring Hearts bundle in the mini catalog are brand new, right? It's just really, we're only like 2 weeks in, barely. On page 18, I feel like the Adoring Hearts bundle didn't get a lot of love because most of the page next door on 19 is all about the Stampin' Brayer, the brand new brayer, which I haven't broken out yet, with the Thoughtful Moments hybrid embossing folder. I feel like a lot of this has to do with the brayer and the embossing, this hybrid embossing folder, not this hybrid embossing folder. And tonight we're going to focus on the hearts instead, right? So we're going to focus on the hearts, and very Valentine-y themed or love themed or not, because I've explored all kinds of things with this bundle. This is our cardstock tonight. I'm using the Most Adored Specialty Designer Series paper. This one is the one that I said was very Valentine-y day, and I love that. Hi Sandra, hi Rhonda, so glad to see you guys here. So this is really beautiful paper. Again, this paper is free during Sale-A-Bration with your $50 order. So this is like just such a cool class. I'm just really excited about this class. Last week we were buzzing about bees. Now we're moving on to hearts. So this is the stamp set, Adoring Hearts. It is photopolymer. So it's got some florals. It's got some hearts, right? We've got the sentiments to my Valentine. And then we've got I Adore You, which I adore you all year long. You guys are awesome. So I always adore you with all my heart. I adore you with all my heart. You're most loved with all my heart. Celebrating you. And we've got Just For You, which is super generic, right? Just For You. So it's got some really nice sentiments in here. Again, photopolymer. Now the add-on, or not the add-on, the bundle part here, the Adoring Hearts dies and the embossing folder. You get the embossing folder and the dies together. When you order this, whether you order it with the stamp set or not, maybe you just want the dies and the embossing folder. Maybe you don't need any more hearts. Maybe you don't need any more Valentines or love you words, whatever. So that's cool. Just get this. This comes as you get 2 items. They come together. So you get the embossing folder, and I want to point out that the embossing folder, the hearts are going up and down this way. So it actually opens like a book. This embossing folder opens like a book, but I don't want you to be tricked, because normally we're putting our embossing folders through the machine with the hearts or whatever is facing down and up. We send it through the machine. I want you to send it through the machine sideways, because the spine is over here, and you want to always put this through your embossing machine with the spine end in first. So you're going to send it in a little bit differently. Now the hybrid embossing folder is meant to work exactly with the dies. Now you're going to see here that these dies, Brady Bunch alert, right? I don't know why I always think of the Brady Bunch, but I love that. I love that series. So you've got your hearts here. Alice would be in the middle if you're playing along at home. So you've got your 9 hearts here, and they're all connected when you get these die. Now you can make 9 separate hearts if you want to. They're going to come out individually. We're going to play with this. But the hybrid embossing folder is actually meant to nestle your dies right inside the folder, and they will fit in here. They kind of seat themselves. And then we're going to do this. We're going to put in paper, and we're going to actually use this tonight. Now, along with the big die here, you've got some intricate little dies. You've got 2 smaller hearts. You've got a trio of tiny hearts. Now, these will all come out individually. Again, you've got 4 hearts here. This is going to be great if you're making like kind of a strip with a peekaboo heart cutout behind it. That's a really good one. I think I have some of these mounted on my magnet sheet because I'm actually using them. You've got a little banner here. This banner fits the sentiment just for you. So you've got a little banner here with the stamp is curving just perfectly for this banner. And then you've got a few little like leafy florally type things as well. So that rounds out the die. So there's a lot here that you get with this. And I adore this bundle. I'm just going to tell you right now. I adore this bundle. Now this is the Adoring Hearts card class. Hi, Patty and Deb. Oh, Deb's got to go watch the Bills. Yes, I forgot the Bills were snowed out yesterday. Go Bills. Good luck, everybody. Adoring Hearts card class. With your $40 order, you're getting 6 card kits, which these are the card kits. I know you like to peek a little bit. Look at these adorable, beautiful colors, right? They're very Valentine-y feeling, right? We've got some white, some flirty, real red, and then we've got fresh freesia. There's a lot of gold here. I hope you can see all the gold in here, and that's because the designer series paper is very gold rich. Like half of the designer paper is gold, and the other side is red or flirty flamingo. So with your $50 order, you're getting the card kits and the free embellishment. This is our embellishment that we're using on the cards. These are called Iridescent Foil Gems, and there's like a little bit of like inside some little sparkles, which is really awesome. And they go with everything. They're kind of champagne-y in color. And if you're at $50, you're going to get a free Sale-A-Bration item. My host code this week is PQBCRYX9. My card classes go through Friday evening, and then I cut paper on the weekend and ship out some kits, and we start all over again. So let's talk about our very first card. This is the card that we're really going to dive into the embossing folder. So as I showed you earlier with the 9 hearts, this is the paper that I used to get the hearts for our very first card. Now I'm going to ship you a piece that's just right. So this is just the right size. You can see here. It's big. It's not even going to fit in the envelope, but I'm going to send this to you. If you're using the Adoring Hearts bundle, you're going to use this to die cut your hearts for your first cards, like your first 2 cards with the flirty flamingo. If you're not using this, you can punch out some hearts or do something creative with your flirty flamingo. But I just wanted to share with you that you're going to actually have leftover hearts here too, because we're putting 3 on each card. So you'll have 3 extra hearts when we're done. So let's talk a little bit about how this works, and maybe we'll take a peek at our first card too. So this is our very first card, and it says, with all my heart. So you can see here that I've just used that sentiment. It's really simple, and we've got some gold in here as well. Some of the beautiful, gorgeous designer series paper. I love this paper. And here you can see these 3 little hearts that we're going to cut out here, and that you can use them on your card. I think these hearts are so fantastic, especially when you get the embossing done in them for you. It's just really beautiful. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the actual heart situation here. So again, I need to use the big die cutting machine here because this is a wide die and there's need for a good amount of paper. I'm just going to flip over here. Linda says, you guys are so funny. Bills and cards, cards. Okay, Linda's fan cards tonight. So there we go. All right, so we have the big embossing folder, and we have the hybrid die. So I've already layered the die in here. So again, the die kind of seats in here, and we're just going to go ahead and put this paper over top of our dies and just make sure it's all in here flush. And I just moved it, so no, it's not. We're going to make sure that all of the hearts are going to come out properly. And I'm going to actually, once I get this situated here, straight, hopefully. I'm going to flip it over so you can see here. Hopefully you can see here that all of the hearts are going to be coming out of here. We're going to get 9 of them, and it's just perfect, right, like this. So again, the spine is going to go in to the rollers first. So it looks like, well, for you guys, it looks upside down, technically. And that's fine. It is sideways as well, right? Oh, I need to get the right sandwich set up here, or it's not going to work at all. So we're going to just use the base plate, and we're going to use the 3D embossing folder plate, which is the gray plate. So base plate, your embossing folder, the dies, your paper, and then just this big gray plate over top. And I can move this off to the side now because we're all set with that. And this is where the magic is amazingly magical. I'm going to turn it back this way so it's right side up. So when you pop this open, here it is. And all of these little hearts are just, they're so cute. Like this actually makes me really happy to see all these. They're really cute designs. There's 3 different designs. You're going to make 3 of each. So these are the 3, no, I'm not, actually it's these 3 right here. These are the 3 designs that are going to come out. So 3 of each, right? They remind me of those cookies that you roll with the rolling pins, and they just have those really fun designs in them. I forget what the name of them are. They're like a shortbread cookie. And I don't know, everything reminds me of chocolate and cookies. It's just how my mind is. But anyway, so you got all these great little hearts, right? So out they come. And we're going to use 3 of these on our first card. And then this is an extra. Now you could trim this down and put this on a card front, because you'd be able to fit 2 hearts across, 3 down. I think you can fit 3 down, maybe not. You might not be able to. It's a little bit bigger than a card front, so you'd have to trim it a little bit, top and bottom. So that's an option. Now, we just use this as a hybrid embossing folder. Later on, we're going to just use the die, and we're going to die cut some hearts. You can also just use this as an embossing folder. So this will emboss your paper just like a regular embossing folder will. In fact, you can kind of see a few little hearts here. Hopefully you can see them on this paper that also get taken care of here while we're using this fun product. All right, so we're going to pick out 3 of these, and I wanted to use 3 different ones on my cards. Let me bring my card back in again so we can take a peek at the card in all its beautiful, beautiful pinkness. Now this is Flirty Flamingo in white. And it says with all my heart, but it doesn't say Happy Valentine's Day. This is not necessarily a Valentine's Day card. This could be a birthday card. This could be a thinking of you card. This could be an I miss you card. This could be all kinds of a card, right? So your card kit has all kinds of stuff in it too. So 2 of everything. So 2 of the thick bases, 2 envelopes. I'm going to separate out what we're going to use for 1 card tonight. And then we're going to talk about some different ways we're going to trick our paper and use the dies. This one's going to be really interesting for sure. So I hope you guys are buckled in for a fun card class tonight, because this one is really awesome. Let me set that one aside. And here is my white card base right here, and we're good to go. Now you're going to notice this piece right here has a little bit of embossing. Hopefully you can see that. It has the cascading ruffles on it, and it looks a lot different than what I have on my card base. Now, if you want to darken it down, it does kind of make it a little bit more coral. If you don't darken it down, it's a little bit more pink. Let me put these 2 together so you can kind of see the difference here in the pink and the coral. Like, it surprised me how much Flirty Flamingo ink turned this paper a different color. Now I'm going to go ahead and just do that real quickly. This little mat right here, that hopefully you can see this is amazing. This comes with the Stampin' Glass Studio. So this is like silicone. It helps things to stay in place. Like right here, it stays pretty good. And I'm just going to write on my glass mat. I don't have to worry about having paper behind when you have the glass mat out. It's fantastic. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to ink up all 4 sides, and it kind of makes it a little bit more orangey. But if you're a fan of the orange and pinks, then there you go. You're going to like this. So that is the Flirty Flamingo ink. Really? I don't know. I feel like it's so different from what we got going on here. Now with the glass mat, I've got the ink right here. I'm just going to use my cloth. This has a little bit of water on it, and I'm going to just wipe that up. If you're using, and I just have a regular microfiber here to dry it quickly so I don't get my papers wet. You can just wait for it to dry a little bit if you need to. So we're going to glue down some layers here. If you're using regular ink, the water-based ink, like our ink pads that Stampin' Up has, you can wipe that up with water. If you're using alcohol-based inks, like the blender pens, let's say you get blender pen on it, or StazOn, you need to have either like a hand sanitizer or an alcohol and like a little spritzer to clean that up. So that's going to be the difference there. Now, before we go any further, I'm just going to kind of show you the bones of your card. Let's say you're not using anything that I have here. Let's just say you want to do your own thing completely. This is the bones of your card. You have all of these pieces right here, just like this. Let's pretend none of these exist. This is what you have that you can work with. So this is going to be a really nice kit to get home, and bonus, you could flip the paper over. Again, this is a Sale-A-Bration paper that has gold on one side and then pinks on the other. So maybe you want to do something a little different, right? So there are lots of options here with this kit, which is really fantastic. I love when there's lots of options for you. But first, we're gonna, like I said earlier, we're gonna get a little tricky with some of this. So we're gonna take these two pieces, which are part of your kit, and they're background pieces. There's one here, and then this pink one is behind all these other layers, because I love me some good layers. And we're actually gonna do a little die cutting in the middle. And let me see, let me get this going in the right direction. Now this time I'm just gonna bring in my mini machine, because the Mighty Mini can do this. So what we're going to do on the gold foil, we're going to take out of the center our two little leafies, right? So just right out of the middle. They're coming out of the middle because the middle is going to get covered up. So as long as you have them right there, just like that in the middle, we're going to die cut these. The static is crazy. Everything's moving around. Okay, static. Stay. Okay, hopefully we're in a good position here. I just need them right out of the middle. That's all I want. Just a couple of little gold leaves out of the middle. Now I want to point out that we're just using the edges, but I don't know if you can see this or not, but the plates that I'm using, there's some die cuts in them already. So on the gold foil, it's not very forgiving. If you have a nice new clean plate, I would suggest it, because otherwise you're going to get little remnants of all the little cuts that are in this plate. So if that really bothers you, then definitely you would want to use a nice new plate rather than one that has scratches in it, because those scratches just show up, which is kind of sad, but the reality is it's there. And I wanted to point that out to you in case you didn't realize that, and you die cut these at home and then you're kind of disappointed because you're like, what just happened? Oh, this is what just happened. I dropped my foily thingy, and it's in the middle of my machine. These are like live videos. Let's see if I can get this out. It is like stuck in there. Okay, next tool. Real life problems here. Let me see if I don't know if I could push it down or pull it out. I really wanted that little foil. There it is. It came out. Okay, crisis averted. Oh my goodness. So we have our little foils. After all of that trouble, we have two cute little foils that we're going to put on our card. We have this. This is not a throwaway piece. We're actually putting that back on our card too. Now let's see if we can get a little bit better at our die cutting here. And we're going to try to do the center of this pink one, and we're going to get these bigger pieces out of here. Now for this one, I want you to keep, again, to the center, but the top and bottom are going to show on the card front. So make sure you keep the top and bottom nice and straight. Don't go too close to either end. And this is just kind of a way to share with you that you can get creative with your paper, and you can use parts out of the middle. And once you put on all those great layers, no one knows that they're like there's pieces missing on the inside. So I'm just trying to use my little brush here from the Take Your Pick tool and see if I can't get these to come out. There's one. And of course there's a little bit of extra bits and pieces here that have to be poked out if they don't come clean either. And there is our second one. So there we go. So we have our little parts and pieces that we're going to use. Let me set that aside. And now we can finish the assembly of our card. Now that we've gotten creative with some of the center parts here, we're going to finish this up. So the next thing we're going to put down is this gold piece right here across the middle. So let me get out my glue. So now when we're gluing this, we're just going to be careful to, of course, not go across the opening because that would be silly, right? So we're just going to kind of go around that, and then we're going to glue this down. Now this gold piece is designed to be completely straight across and fit the width of the embossed Flirty Flamingo. Again, darkening that down is not, you don't have to do it. You don't have to cut this out of the middle if you don't want to. These are all different things you can do if you want to, right? You can use this side or you can use this side. I think I'm going to stick with the pink up because I really like how soft and pretty it is. So I'm just going to add some glue to this. Now, as I put it, remember we have a hole here, right? But as I put this paper over top, the hole just goes away. No one knows those little leaves came out of there. It is our secret. It's our secret. Now we're going to take this piece and we're going to take this piece of Designer Series paper, and the same thing again. We're going to actually put these together. So this paper is going to cover up where our holes were, and I'm actually going to get really kind of crazy here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here because I don't want to make a mess, basically. And then I'm just going to layer this over the top. So you don't have to glue when you're using glue. First of all, don't be heavy with your glue. You don't need to use a ton of glue. A little bit of glue is going to hold it, and you don't have to get to the very outside edges because that's when it seeps out, right? So keep it, you know, by keeping it on the inside here, it sticks perfectly fine, and we didn't have to go crazy. And this is just going to come right across here just like so. So now it doesn't really matter where I hit the glue because this is the back side. There's paper supporting it, and I'm just going to kind of leave that gold, the gold bar across the middle there. I love the gold in this. It's very rich and fun. Okay, so now we have our little pieces here, so we can kind of layer these in here. Maybe we should stamp our sentiment. We have Flirty Flamingo ink. I'm going to bring this back in, and I'm going to bring in the sentiment, which is With All My Heart. Here it is right here. With All My Heart, just going on right here. Now I love stamping on this glass mat. It just, it provides a really nice surface. I feel like the stamping is easier to do on this mat. That's like a bonus, right? So there's, as I said, I'm going to mention things that I really like, things that maybe I'm not as much a fan of, but I really like, I like sponging on it. I like stamping on it. It's easy to clean, for sure, which is a plus, right? I don't have all those papers everywhere, which is nice. So here we go. I'm going to, now I've got that on there, I'm going to go ahead and just lay my little sprigs and leaves kind of up and down however I want them to be here, just kind of like so. So I've got one on the top, one on the bottom, and I'm just doing a quick dry fit to make sure that if I put them right there, my sentiment piece is going to cover the tape that I'm going to use to put these down. Now when I have little tiny pieces like this that are kind of intricate, I definitely don't want to use glue on them. So I'm just going to use a little bit of tear and tape, and I always just tuck it right here on the tops of the stems, right? Just like that. And then I come back in and do a double check. Will my sentiment still cover the tape? And yes, it sure will. Now the tape has to come off, or the dimensionals that I'm going to use on my sentiment will not work. I'm looking for my, has anyone seen my take your pick tool that has the putty end? Oh my goodness, I have lost it. Okay, so I'm just going to pull these up with my, oh, I see it now. I'm going to pull these up with my finger. Here it is. Here it is. Thanks for telling me it was right there. It's always right there, right? I spent like yesterday and most of today cleaning up in my craft room, and I'm not by any means not done, but boy oh boy, it feels so good to get cleaned and organized. And I don't know, I'm hoping I can find stuff, but sometimes I can't find stuff. It's just kind of a double-edged sword, right? You clean it and you think, oh, it'll be so easy to find things, and then you can't find things. But definitely a little bit more floor space in here. So With All My Heart, I've got two dimensionals on the back. This is just going to come over here like this. And this is just pretty just like this, right? So if you have this at home, you don't have the adoring hearts, and you don't plan to get it, you can put a little sentiment on here. You can add any kinds of sprigs right here, and it's just really pretty. But we do have these lovelies, right, that we just did. Now I want to point out that there's the embossed and the debossed sides. So there are decisions here as well. So whether you want the the debossed or the embossed. There is a difference. I'm trying to make sure I've got the 3 different ones here. I like this one for the middle because it's the fanciest. And I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on this one. And I'm going to tuck this on right about here, just like that. And then when I do the following 2, I'm only going to put on 1 dimensional right in the middle. And that's because I want to make sure I have room to kind of tuck them up and under if I want to. If I put too many dimensionals on here, sometimes the dimensionals bump into each other and then you can't really move them around any further. If that makes sense. If you've done this, you kind of know. You're like, oh, I just hit a dimensional. So if you put in 1, it's enough to give you a little bit more wiggle room here to get those on there and tuck them one under the next. Now we are going to find our bling, perhaps. We're going to look for it anyway. I had everything right here. I feel like I just, I'm losing everything today. It's one of those days. Now I feel like I've lost everything. So somewhere I had bling because I shared with you what the free bling is, and I can't find my bling right now. What did I do with my bling? Oh, okay. Yep, there it is. For some reason I put it behind me. So now these little blings, just as I mentioned, they go like nicely with everything. So we're going to put one here, and we're going to make that little triangle that looks so pleasing to the eye, right? So I've got my little triangle coming this way, and there is card number 1. Now I'm going to set this bling up here. Remind me that it's up here so I don't lose that one. So hopefully, I know it's really shiny. Let me lift it up here a little bit. So hopefully you can see it and you love it. It is a really sweet card, and I did make it pretty much identical because I really liked, I think that's the sign of a card that I like. If I make it the exact same way, that means I really like the way that it already is. Okay. Hey everybody, I've got a new Sandy on here. It's nice to meet you, Sandy. Jess was worried about my foil disappearing in my machine. Jess loves the embossed hearts, and Rhonda says pretty. I know, I totally agree. Totally agree. Okay, this is a lot of fun. So now this card right here, this one is a Valentine's Day card. Now, does it have to be? No. If you want to swap out a sentiment here, it does not have to be a Valentine's Day card, but this one really is beautiful as a Valentine's Day card because it's got those rich red colors in it. And again, the gold. So I'm bringing in a lot of gold in this class because I feel like it's just that time of the year, right, where we're thinking about Valentine's Day. So your card kit has 2 card bases, 2 envelopes, and I'm going to just separate out all of the pieces here that you're going to have at home so that you can see what is involved. Now, of course, some of the things that I send you are already punched, which is in the case here, and die cut, which is in the case here. These are new die alert. I hope you guys like these. I don't know, I love, okay, and I think if you followed me for a little bit, you're gonna know I loved the stitched dies, the little stitching around them. Absolutely adore it. And I love nesting dies, and this is like a win-win for me. So these are new in the catalog, so a new product. And we have red. I feel like there's 2 here. No, there's just 1. Okay, and there is our card kit right here. So you're getting some things that already are punched die cut. What I don't send with my kits is anything that has to do with the bundle that I'm featuring. So anything that's going to be die cut or stamped from the bundle, you're going to have to either get the bundle and use that, have the bundle and use that, or swap in other products. I feel like I put away one too many things here. I did. Okay, so we've got this great designer series paper, Most Adored. So you're going to see options, right? So each side has the red or the gold, red, right? So you get to choose which ones you like up. Now, I don't know, I'm feeling like I really like this card. This, again, the same. You might be seeing the same things over and over again for me tonight because I just really like it. So let's just set up our bones here real quick, and we're gonna put this white paper on our card base if my glue will allow. So this one's just going to come right on here like so. And then I do like the stripey. Now, if you're using it, I want you to look to see. There's 2 different ways your stripies can go. Or is that, nope, I lied. They both go this way no matter which way they go. And of course, if you like the gold swirly, you could use that too. I really do like the red plaid with an angle. It's so pretty. So we're going to put this on right over here. And We've got a nice little matted layer here. Absolutely lovely. I am going to keep this, again, I'm going to keep this one up because I feel like the red hearts, while it's really cute, depending on what you're doing, maybe you like the red hearts, maybe you just want all this like red and white, that is really cute. But I'm going to go this way because I do want to bring in all of this other gold, and I want it to kind of match something on the card. So I'm going to put my designer series paper right here on this red square. And this is going to go right here flat onto our card front as well. I always like to start out and show you kind of like, this is your card kit, right? Welcome to your card kit. This is what you got right here. And you could put anything on here. And you could just add these in, and then you've got a really nice card kit. So you can kind of see where this is going. So we're going to actually stamp and color this. And we have our sentiment piece here too. So we're going to stamp that. So this one is pretty easy. This one is going to do a little bit of blend coloring. So I've got the rose on here. So this stamp is right here in our stamp set. So really pretty flowers. And you can see that it's begging to be colored in. Now I want you to pay attention to where, when you stamp this, there's kind of like a bigger section here, a bigger curve, two smaller curves. So depending on how you want this to be layered, if you want the bigger curve facing up, if you want the smaller curve facing up, you can orient this in different ways and it totally changes the look. So pay attention to that when you stamp on your piece here so that you know which side you want up. I like the bigger curve up myself. So I'm going to actually put this upside down, push my Memento ink. So we're using the black Memento ink on this because I'm going to be coloring with my Stampin' Blend. So the Memento ink is water-based and the blends are oil-based, and they are opposites attracting. Now I'm going to stamp off a little bit. I'm going to stamp this kind of to the side. I did want some white space here. So you're going to notice I didn't put this right in the middle. I didn't, you know, completely fill in my white space here on purpose. So I just want to get a good stamping here. So you can see how pretty that is, right? That's just really pretty. All right, I'm going to just quickly bring in my little cloth here, just in case I have, because I did go off a little bit. So another thing you can do now on top of your glass mat is to color, which is what we're going to do next. Now I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo and Real Red, so I'm kind of bringing in the same colors, and I want the center of my rose to just kind of be lighter. So I'm just going to scribble some, I just squiggle on some color. So quick color here in the middle, just kind of around in a little circle. I'm not being specific to the petals or anything like that. And I'm going to bring it out a little bit here and add in the next color, which is the dark Flirty. So I started with a light Flirty. I'm going to go into the dark Flirty. I'm going to put a little bit on that bottom one there too. Now I'm going to bring in my Real Reds. I'm going to start with the lighter. I'm always using the nib end. I feel like that's the end you want to color in with. It just kind of works really well. Otherwise you're going to fray your tips. And then I'm going to kind of come down here and do this a little bit here too. Now as I go out a little bit farther into the flower, I do have to pay attention to the lines, because otherwise I'm just gonna kindergarten scribble everything and it's just not going to be pretty. So now I'm going to bring in the darkest Real Red, and this time I'm kind of paying more attention to where the lines are, and I'm making sure that I'm pulling color up into the previous color. So I'm not letting them just sit next to each other, but I'm kind of going up into each color that has gone before. And there's lots of different ways that you can work with the blends depending on how intricate you want to be. I'm kind of an impatient colorer. I want to just color it and be done. I want it to be pretty, but I don't have a lot of patience to sit and just keep coloring. So with the red, I'm going to go, with the dark here, I'm going to kind of darken that one down. So you're going to see here that I kind of started light and went outward. Now I'm going to bring in, this is the light Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to bring in light Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to kind of do all of it. I'm going to be blending in some of these lines all over the place. I'm going to do the same down here. And that kind of just gives us more tones. Okay. And then if I want to, I can come back in with, maybe I'll come back in with the light red, and I'll just add a little bit more kind of along some of the lines here, some of the petal lines, just a little bit more, just to kind of break it up a little bit and make it look a little bit more defined. So I'm just going to kind of come in here and dot in a little bit of color. And that's it. That's my coloring. So I have some, you can see different shades here, and it didn't take me a really long time. Because again, I'm just not patient enough to do really detailed work. And I feel like it's pretty just the way it is. Now, right now I'm using the dark shaded spruce, and I've just come in to do the lines in the middle that are already stamped as part of the leaves. Oh, and I'm going to also dot these little, right up here, these little dots that come up. I'm going to do that in the shaded spruce too. Now I'm going to come in with a lighter shaded spruce, and I'm going to kind of fill in the leaves. And I realize that on my finished card, you really don't see a lot of this. Some of it's going to get covered up. But if you didn't want to cover all of this up, you don't have to. You spent a little time coloring, right? Maybe you want to show it off. Okay, so there we go. I wanted the dark greens to go with the dark reds because it's a really rich, beautiful kind of tone color. Now we're going to put this together, and then we're going to add a little bit of wink. So you can see how pretty layered. This is just really pretty. Now this would be beautiful for a Mother's Day card too. Oh, and you can see on the back side, you can see how the blenders kind of bleed through. That's why you always want a protective surface underneath, whether it's paper or a silicone mat or whatever you're going to color on. In this case, I've got the glass mat. It works really well just to keep, you know, anything from bleeding through onto, you know, you don't want to get on your table or what have you. So here is our beautiful little rose, just like that. And I have some Wink of Stella here, and I don't know if there's a lot in here, but we're going to come in here and we're just going to add a little bit of that razzle dazzle. This is like a little glimmer pen. It kind of adds kind of like a liquid sheen, and it's got like little sparklies in it. So I'm just doing the flowers, and I'm only using a little bit because not a lot's coming out. I think I need a new one, and these things are always on back order. They're on back order again. So there's a little bit of glimmer there. It maybe not really picking up too well. But there it is. We did a little bit of coloring, and look how pretty, just really pretty colors that go together. Let's do our sentiment here real quick. We're going to bring in Real Red, and we're going to do our sentiment to my Valentine. Now, this could say Happy Mother's Day, right? This could say Happy Birthday. I love that you can take a card, and it doesn't have to be exactly the same card. You know, like this says to my Valentine. It could be a completely different card. So keep that in mind. If you're thinking, I don't need any Valentine's Day cards, maybe you need a birthday card for somebody. Did that kind of low, and I see that my Y is cut off. So let's see if I flip it over, if I have better luck. And this is snug. So this time I'm gonna pay a little bit more attention to my letters, hopefully. And well, that's a little bit better. I think I like that one better than that one. So we're going to go with that one. To my Valentine. And that one's done in the Real Red, and I like to angle cut my sentiment pieces. Now you could keep this straight if you want to. It would fit across here just like that. So you can kind of see the difference between keeping it long and then snugging up the ends here a little bit. You can trim them however you like. I like to do the angle cut on them. It's a fancy cut without being too fancy. And it's so simple, just like that. So we got a couple scraps there. Let me get rid of those. And we're going to finish up the assembly here on this one, just like this. So we're going to bring in, similar to our first card, we're going to bring in our little sprigs. I love the bow punch. So it's got the boughs, or the leaves, and then it's got the sprig. It's called the bow punch. It's got leaves and sprigs. I call them leaves and sprigs because I feel like they're totally different. I forgot to do the sprigs. Okay, let's back up the bus here for just a second. I have a trick for the sprigs today too. This is like trick class. So these little sprigs are just Real Red cardstock. I'm bringing in my dark Real Red Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to color down the tops of these little flowers here. Now, if you do these in like, if you punch these in white, this is a punch. If you punch those in white, you can color them in all kinds of colors, right? You can get these little, I just think they're really cute. So darker over here, no color over here. Okay, so we're going to darken them down a little bit. So it's kind of tone on tone coloring. And I'm not going like super specific. I'm just kind of adding some on there. And then I'm going to come back in with Wink of Stella, and we're going to do the same thing. Now we're going to make them shiny. So before we made them dark, Now we're making them shiny. I forgot this. These little tiny things that you can do with your supplies just really elevate your card, and they're simple things, right? Just adding a little extra color, adding a little bit of that wink of Stella, and hopefully you can see there's like a little sheen to them. It's just really pretty now. So that makes it kind of just a little bit over the top, right? Which is where this card should be. This is a pretty fancy card. So we're just going to go ahead and layer on our leaves and our sprigs, just like we did on our first card, right? And then I'm going to bring in my rose piece here. I'm just going to kind of do a little dry fitting to make sure that I like where it's at. This is where you could make a little adjustment if you wanted to. Maybe you want this one down a little bit farther, and so on. So I'm pretty happy with that there. I think that moved a little bit. So just like the first card, we're going to come in, we're going to catch the ends here of our little leaves and sprigs, and we're going to add in some tear and tape. So those are on there. They're not going to go, and they're not going to go anywhere, right? So those are on there. My little piece here is still going to cover up where the tape is. So once again, I'm just going to peel this backing off the tear and tape. If you don't have tear and tape in your life, you definitely need it. It surprises me sometimes when I hear that people haven't tried tear and tape. I'm like, oh my goodness. It is one of the most fabulous things you can have. All right, we're going to throw on some dimensionals here, maybe 4. Let's do 4. And we're going to just pop these off of here real quick. And we're going to move this over top of our tape. So this is sticky underneath. Now again, we're going to look to see which way did we want this to go, right? Because after you've colored it and moved it around, sometimes it's hard to tell. I wanted this to be the top, so it's going to come on just like this, and I'm going to push this over a little bit to the side, just like so. And then our sentiment's going to come on over here. Now this is where it is kind of sad to cover this. Now you could put it down lower if you wanted to. Maybe you want it down there. You could have changed where your leaves go. I'm going to keep it kind of still in the middle here. You can still see the flowers. You can see a little bit of the greens. I think it's still really pretty. Now to put this on here, we do need a dimensional. And the dimensional needs to go right here. Right here is where my dimensional needs to go, because I've already kind of fit that in my mind's eye. So the dimensional's here, which makes it easier. And we're going to just add a little bit of glue on this end. And we're going to put this across now. So we've got our dimensional on this end. Our glue is over here across onto our little rose piece. And just like that, it's so pretty. And all we need to add in is our bling. So if my bling's not missing, here it is. My bling is not missing. We're going to do our little triangle again. So here we go. We're going to put a couple of these down here. And did I get one off of there? I did not. There we go. 2 down there. And we're going to put one up here at the top. So there we go. We've got our little triangle on this card, just like that. Oh, it's so pretty. I really love this one. I think this one, this might be my favorite. I don't know. I really like the first one. This is one of those classes where I have a hard time picking a favorite, but I really do like how this one turned out. So hopefully you guys are all following along. Let me just check messages again really quickly. Oh yeah, Jess says, this reminds me of wife's Valentine card we'd sell in our stores. Yes. And elegant. Thank you, Linda. It is. Hi, Amy. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, it's so nice to have you on with me tonight. Thank you, my friend. This one I love. This one I really do love. To my Valentine. Again, this could be a different sentiment, and it could be birthday. It could be, you know, whatever card you need it to be. So there's cards 1 and 2. We are down to our last card. Let's move in with purple, which is always a fan favorite, right? Now earlier I mentioned that we're making some cards here. The first card said, what did the first card say? With all my heart. The first card was generic enough to be a birthday card, what have you. Second card was definitely Valentine's Day card, right? The third card is totally different. Totally different. I don't think this is a Valentine's Day card at all. This one says celebrating you. I think this is a birthday card. This could be a congratulations card. This is just to show you that in this stamp set you can do more than Valentine's Day, and hearts are really universal for more than just Valentine's Day as well. We all know this, right? So we're going to play a little bit with some different hearts here for this card, and this one is featuring Fresh Freesia. So I wanted to bring in, even though we've got the designer series paper that has pinks and reds. Oh, look at this pinks, the pinks, right? We're actually just using the gold paper on this one. So this, I don't want you to just limit yourself to pink and red when you look at this Adoring Hearts Designer Series paper. This paper would look fabulous with just black and white. It will look beautiful with any color really, because it's gold. Gold and white goes with everything, right? So we've got a couple of card bases here in Fresh Freesia, which I already have one of. So I'm going to just pull out some different things here that we need. You're getting this Softly Sophisticated emboss piece, which is my current favorite embossing folder. I absolutely adore that embossing folder. And then you've got some deckled circles here too. So you're getting these ones die cut for you. And that's just because I like to add, again, lots of layers and fun to my cards. So we're going to do some, again, like the first card, we've got some tricky things to do here. But first, let's just put together a couple of our layers because we'll just get those out of the way. So I like the plaid. So again, I'm using the gold rather than the pink. Both of these happen to be pink. And now, of course, if you're a fan of pink and purple, you can make this work. I really want the gold to work though for this one. So I'm going to take this piece right here. You're going to see that it's going to layer across. Nope, I'm just kidding. We're going to do this one. This one is going to layer across right here, right? So you've got a little bit of the gold showing top and bottom. So good thing I double checked myself there. My goodness, I'd be gluing the wrong paper down. All right, so a little bit of adhesive on there. This is going to fit straight across the width, and you're going to just kind of see top and bottom. You've got some glue wiggle room here right now to like kind of wiggle that around a little bit. And then this is our piece right here. Then with our other white piece and our other Designer Series paper, these go together this way. So let's get these put together, and then we can set them aside and work on different bits of this card. So again, I'm using the gold and white. So you can see here that these are going to layer onto our card base. Oh, card base, come on in. Here's my card base. So you can see here the bones of your card are going to give you some really pretty things to work with right off the bat. And again, you've got your deckled circles right here. So these would be papers that you're going to work with, whether you're using Adoring Hearts, something else. But this is what you've got right here to work with. So really pretty, awesome kit. Loving the purple. I know I have a few fans out there that love the purple too. Now this may surprise you, but the ink color that I'm going to use is not Fresh Freesia. I'm bringing in Highland Heather. I'm doing something a little bit different. Let me move some things around here in my space here so I can get in here with my Highland Heather, right? So this is Highland Heather ink on here. I've sponged in Highland Heather. I've done some background stamping in Highland Heather, and we're going to do that right here on our card base. So again, I'm using stamps from the stamp set, Adoring Hearts. So this one right here is what we're going to stamp all up and down our card front here. So hopefully everything is in sight here. You can see that. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Now I'm doing them in this orientation where the top comes close to the top of my card, and I'm going to just stamp it just like this. And I'm going to go across here 5 times actually. So just kind of across there. Is my stamping perfect? No, but it's perfect to me, right? So 5 across looks pretty good. We're going to flip it upside down. So it opens this way. So now we're going to flip it upside down because I feel like it's easier to continue to stamp upright rather than stamp it upside down. I would have a hard time with that visually. So again, we're just going to ink and stamp and go across here. And you can get 5 of those in there nicely. There's a little bit of spacing in between, but not a lot, right? So there's a nice little sway to this card. I think that's really pretty. Now, while we have the ink out, let's do our Celebrating You. Again, this is a stamp from the stamp set. We're going to do that right here on this white deckled circle. So Celebrating You. This could be a birthday card, a congratulations card. I'm actually going to put this up a little bit higher this time than the last time. The last time I centered it a little bit more, and then as I added in these elements down here, I wished that Celebrating You had been up a little bit higher. So we have these beautiful things. We're going to bring the ink back in a little bit because we're going to be doing some more things with the ink. So let me just set those aside first, and we're going to move on to some fun bits here. So we're going to do the heart and the other heart and the detail heart, the background heart, and then this little banner piece. So let me set these aside for a second, and we're going to bring in well, let's see, which one do we need? We need the big guy. So this is why I have 2 embossing machines, because sometimes you need the big one, sometimes you can get away with, you know, big, small, what have you. So I wanted to share this with you and show you different ways that we're using the machine today with the hybrid embossing folder. So this is my base. So this is number 1. And then we're going to bring in, we'll need the gray one, because again, just keeping in mind that we're using, nope, I'm kidding. We're not using the embossing folder right now. Nope, just kidding. This was a test. We're using this as a die today. So number 2 is our die cutting shim. Then you're going to put a clear plate down, and then we're going to use a clear plate over top. Now what we're doing is we're bringing in these dies. So earlier we used these dies in the embossing folder. This time we're using these dies just to get 2 hearts. That's all we want, 2 hearts. So you've got this paper right here in your card kit. This will cut out, die cut for you 2 hearts, and you'll be able to use them for your cards, both cards. And then you also are going to have this piece of, and I don't think you can see it, but it's on the end here, fresh freesia. And this is where you're gonna choose. There's actually 4 different detailed hearts. So there's 4 different hearts. I'm gonna take this one, I think. This one, which I haven't used yet, and I'm gonna stick with this one. And there's a reason I'm choosing these 2, and that's because they're the bigger ones, and they have a little bit more room to do some adhering with some glue. So as this comes through, you're going to kind of see what I'm doing. So I've got the whole die here. There's not paper completely being die cut. You could if you wanted to, and then you'd have all these hearts. I only need 2, so I'm just doing 2. And as this comes across, you're going to see here this fresh freesia with the 2 detailed hearts that I picked out. So that's in there too. So I'm going to show you that you can get all of those through the machine at one time. It's like time saving, right? It's a time saver. Now, could I have done more? Sure. And I kind of messed up this heart because it went a little bit low. I could have done that better, but I didn't. I only need 1 for my demonstration here. So here's my heart. We'll pretend those are beautiful, beautiful hearts right there. And then from these ones, we get to choose from these 2 patterns. Now, let's see if I can find my die brush. We'll just pop some of these little pieces out here so you can kind of see how cute these little intricate pieces are that they would go on here. And if you have the adhesive sheets, this is where I would definitely use the adhesive sheets. You will make your sticker out of your die cut, so that little sticker kind of bit, and then you don't have to worry about gluing it. You would peel the backing off, so you would add the adhesive sheet before you die cut it. Oh dear, my die brush is like, there we go. It's kind of stuck in some of these cute little intricate areas. So you can kind of see here how cute this is. Now this is the one that I used for this card right here. So I chose ones that were a little bit bigger. Maybe we'll put this one on. I think I can work the glue magic here a little bit. Let me just clean up here, get rid of some of my bits. Oh, I forgot we have to do the banner. No, we don't have to do the banner. I did the banner ahead. I did lots of things ahead, but you know, then I want to share with you like how these things work out. So let's get rid of some of the stuff that I did previously. Here's the banner. So you'll have this purple fresh freesia, and if you're using the little banner die from this set, you'll be able to get this cute little banner. If not, you can get creative. I know you can. It's all good. All right, so let us bring in all of the bits and pieces here, because we want to do a little bit of detail work with Highland Heather. I feel like the back of my little mat here has all kinds of dimensional pieces on it. So I'm going to find my dauber. So I've got a dauber here, and we're just going to add some Highland Heather. So again, this isn't matchy-matchy because the cardstock is fresh freesia, but we're putting purple on purple, and I don't think you can go wrong putting purple on purple. So here we go, a little bit of Highland Heather on top of the fresh freesia, right along the edges of this, and it's just going to kind of make that pop a little bit. And we're going to do the same thing along the edges of this little banner. So hopefully you can see the difference between the 2 here. The one that has a little bit more darker ink on it, totally different. I'll try to do half of it maybe and kind of show you. So I'm just doing like the edges of it. So you can see this part over here that has a little bit of sponging on it, it just looks so much nicer, right? I love the highs and lows of color when you add the ink on. Okay, so that's all we're doing. We're not getting crazy. We're not doing the whole thing. Now, while this is on my glass mat, I'm just actually going to kind of daub a little bit of ink on here. Again, I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to add a little bit here just to kind of change the tones a little bit, kind of get some highs and lows there as well. Okay, so we're going to put this away because we're all done with ink. And there's all those little backings from my dimensionals. We're going to do a little bit more gluing now. So we're going to put this together here, our deckled circles. The nice thing about the deckled circles is you can just wherever, right? If you stamp on it and it seems crooked, you turn a circle. That's what I love about stamping with circles. You turn the circle and it's perfectly fine. So here's our white heart. Here's our little purple one. So if I put a little bit of glue wherever I can, where there's like more cardstock showing, just the teeniest little bits of glue here, I think I can do this. Just a little bit, not too much. And we're going to layer this together. Again, I would highly recommend the adhesive sheets for this. And just enough there to stick that together. Isn't that the cutest? So there are 4 of those little intricate dies, heart dies in the die set. And of course you can get 9 at a time of the bigger heart dies as well. So let's put our card together now. We're so close to being done, right? Now it's just final assembly. We've got everything ready to go. So again, you want to make sure you know which orientation your card opens in. We're going to put this across and kind of bridge the distance here, cover up the stem. So we're putting our stamping to work here. This piece right here, I am going to put on with some dimensionals. So I do want to lift this one up a little bit. We're going to do 1 in each corner. And then I think I'm going to just kind of do 2 here to bridge the middle. Grab off those backs right there. And I want to know, do you guys love the hearts? I think the hybrid embossing folder really is like, it's so awesome. Really loving it. And there's lots of things that I haven't even tried doing with it yet. This is just kind of a peek into it, just to see how things work, how it goes together. So there we go, we've got those. And now I'm going to now you can see that because I put my Celebrating You up higher on this one, I'm going to be able to put these items up a little bit higher too. So I'll be able to get those on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a mini dimensional just for the end here of this little purple banner that's going to pop off the side. So if I can get it flipped over, make sure I got going in the right direction. And I'm going to put this on the back of my banner and then kind of dry fit it here. Yep, that'll work beautifully. So the mini dimensionals are nice for small things like this. If you just have large dimensionals, just cut a small piece off, and then there you go. And I'm going to put this right about here. It's a cute little banner, right? Kind of accentuates the Celebrating You. And then we're going to just bring this in here, and I'm just going to add some glue. Nothing crazy. I'm not going to glue all of it. I'm just going to glue enough of it that it's going to stick to a couple of places here. Catch my banner. And so cute, right? All right, lastly, we are going to look for my embellishments once again. And here they are. Remember, when you hit $50, you're going to get the card kits, free embellishments from me, and then from Stampin' Up, you're going to pick out a Sale-A-Bration item. So that's really exciting too. So there's really a lot going on for the card classes right now. January, February are the best time to take advantage of that kind of ordering system. So here we go. We've got Celebrating You, a very obviously not a Valentine's Day card, right? Celebrating You. Beautiful. There's our purple card. Let's take a look at all the cards from our class here real quick. We've got To My Valentine, very Valentine-y, and then we've got the With All My Heart. So those are the 6 cards. This is what you're getting in the mail this week with your order from me. If you have any questions on how that works, you can certainly ask. I really love, as I'm looking at this, I just love all the gold like shininess of it. It's so pretty, so pretty. So stepping on my microphone cord. All right, and Sandra says she loves them all. Thanks, Sandra. I do too. I really do too. They are definitely some nice, they give us the like a warm fuzzy, right? The pinks and the reds and the purples, especially this time of year as we're heading into the Valentines. Yes, thank you. I'm glad you guys are loving the hearts. They are really fun. They're fun to play with, just like the second card. That one is a showstopper. I think that one is the showstopper. Normally I save the best for last, but I think this time it snuck in there and about in the middle or so. So keep in mind that one of these cards is going to get a color swap. I don't know if you guys can guess or not, but I am changing up the colors every week. I take 3 cards from my class. I take one of them and I do a color swap. I share it over on Positive Paper Crafters, where you get to vote who wore it better, the original color or the challenging color. So it's a lot of fun for me. I like to play with color. So you'll see a color swap on Wednesday on Positive Paper Crafters. I'll be back on Thursday with a Thursday at 3. That will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So come check us out on Thursday. We're going to continue to have fun with this great bundle this week. This again is the Adoring Hearts bundle, and I adore that you spent some time watching this with me and hanging out with me while I'm in my craft room. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I will get back to them. And until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, share the love. Bye, everybody.